You are divorcing someone who owns a business, your divorce is going to be complicated. There are so many different people to consider. First, there's you and any children that you may have, but there's also the business and the health of the business. But if your spouse owns the business, why do you care about the health of the business? Because the business is what's going to be able to pay for any spousal support you may receive or that you may need, and any child support that you receive. You don't want to kill the golden goose. You want to protect the business to the best of your ability, but you also want to make sure that you get your fair share, and you also want to make sure that your business owner spouse isn't hiding income in the business. So, it's complicated, go with a legal team that knows what they're doing. When going through a divorce and one spouse owns a business, or if both spouses own a business, it's very important to get the valuation of the business right. You need to hire an independent expert to value the business, not just of today, but of the date of the marriage if the business pre-existed the marriage. Why? In general, any increase in the value of the business that occurred during the marriage is a marital asset. You also have to look at things like, did you intertwine your personal finances with your business or your spouse's business? And that also can be difficult to tease out. The way we do this is business valuators. Business valuators can do a lot of different methodologies to figure out how to value a business. And your lawyer needs to understand what goes into each of these. For example, personal goodwill, that's something that can be really high or really low and can impact the value of a business. And if you're divorcing a business owner and they're trying to say, oh, my business is all personal goodwill and therefore the book value is very small, you might need to look sideways at that. At the same time, if you're the business owner, you want that personal goodwill value to be as high as you possibly can. That's why often there are competing experts trying to value a business. So, business valuations, they're complicated. They can also be a lot of fun, especially if you're into numbers. If you and your spouse co-own a business, there are a number of options for how to handle the business in your divorce. First, you could go on with business as usual. I've actually had that happen a couple times, where the husband and the wife in that particular case continued working the business together even after they were divorced. Another option is to divide the business. Perhaps each of you takes some employees, some assets, some contacts, and you divide the business at the end of the day. A cleaner way to go about it is one spouse buys out the other spouse's interest in the business. And that also is an option. At the end of the day, the most important thing is to try to keep the business as alive as you can be, because it is a source of income for the entire family, especially if you have minor children and they're going to need support or things like their college paid for. In general, if one spouse solely owns the business, the court is not going to order the business sold or ensure that the business actually gets divided. What the court does want to look at is what is the increase in value of the business from the date of marriage until the time of divorce. And they're going to figure out how to get the other spouse 50% of that increase in value. This can come from retirement accounts, from investment accounts, from sale of homes, from sale of other property, or it can be done as a monetary award paid over time. At the end of the day, the increase in value of a business is a marital asset, and that absolutely needs to be taken into account in a divorce. After all, the spouse that doesn't own the business probably did a lot to help support the growth of the business. Maybe they spoke positively about it in all of their different circles. Maybe they hosted some events for the business, or maybe they just took care of everything on the home front so that the business owner could rock it at work. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter whether they had a huge impact or not. The courts will look at a marriage as a partnership and the partnership added to that increase in value. If you're divorcing a business owner, you need a lawyer that knows how to read profit and loss statements and really knows how to read business tax returns. At the end of the day, it's really easy to hide money in a divorce if you have a business, and you want to make sure that you are getting what is equitable. At Z Family Law, we don't write endings, we create new beginnings, and we are very familiar with divorces involving a business, and we're here to help you. Contact us now.